Okay, we're beginning now Shir number 4. We started last time the idea of Mokim Shemesh or Miti versus Shemesh and Tzoy. We showed this diagram here. And we'll explain it again. There's E is where the earth is. C is the center. The sun goes around point C. So the center of the sun's orbit is not Earth. Earth is somewhere else in space. That means that when the sun is always away 2 inches from C. So let's say the sun is here, it's very far from Earth. Then when the sun is here, it's also 2 inches. It's very close to Earth. Everything here is highly exaggerated, but that's just to bring out the point. Now, let's assume the sun is at point S. And somebody would ask where is the sun right now? In other words, which star is in its background? Star means the stars from the maslul. The answer is, depends whom you're asking. If you're asking somebody that's standing in space at point C, that's the Mokem Shemesh and Tzoy, it's the center of the sun's orbit. Then you would say it's okay. So now I have to start at this point here, where the arrow shows is 71 degrees. It means if you imagine that if you look at the star all the way far, far away, Earth, center, and continue this line, you will see 71 degrees of maslul. Now, the sun is here somewhere, travels this angle. So for somebody that's standing at point C, the sun is at 71 plus this angle. Let's say this angle is 70 degrees. It's a 70 degree angle. So answer would be 141. That's where the sun is, 141. So in this diagram, you'll follow here the C is the center of the sun. E is the earth. S is the sun. The sun is here. S1, the sun viewed from Earth. Viewed from Earth. So as viewed from Earth, the sun, here the sun is. And what's the background? The background is this S1 is a very, very far star. That is, what's his position? The answer is 71 plus this angle. Let's assume this angle is 30 degrees. So it's 101. The sun, as seen from Earth, is on 101. That's certain. 10 degrees of certain. 11 degrees of certain. But, as viewed from here, from the center of the sun, we said, let's assume that this is 60 degrees, or 70 degrees. So we have 141. So as viewed from here, the sun is seen at 141. That's much, much further from Saturn. This is the idea of, let me just move this up a little bit. You should be able to see the K is the apogee, that's the Mokem Kiddush HaGoiva. KCS is called maslul hashemesh. Maslul hashemesh means how much is the sun away from the Kiddush HaGoiva. We'll see the Rambam soon, but let's just view this picture. The Goiva Shemesh is 71. Now, right now, the sun is, we measure this from C. Right now, the maslul hashemesh is 70 degrees. It means the sun traveled 70 degrees away from here. It's measured from this angle, as viewed from C. We're asking now, how many degrees is he away from K? Past 70 degrees past K. This is angle KCS is called maslul hashemesh. Why do we need to know this? I'm just going to give you an introduction now. We'll get soon more into details. If you know this angle, then this gives us information about this angle here. Because this is obviously the most important angle. This angle is telling us how much to deduct from the mean sum to find the real sum. Again, let's use an example. This angle here, KCS, is 70 degrees. KES, as we said before, is only 30 degrees. This information, through some trigonometric formula, gives us this angle. The difference between this and this. It's not a simple formula, so I'll not get into it. But somehow, by knowing this angle and KCS, and knowing the angle KES, as we said, 70 and 30, and knowing information how much EC is and how much CS is, it's a lot of pieces of information. We can figure out a formula to give us this angle. Once we know this angle, angle S1, S2, that's going to be the angle that we need to deduct to find where the sun is seen as viewed from Earth. You see, I told you that this angle, I have to rehearse what I said. I told you that this angle KES is 30 degrees, but this is not known. This is not known. If you know this already, then we don't need to do any calculations. The fact is that we do not know this angle. The only thing that's given information is this angle, KCS. That's maslul hashemesh. How much the sun traveled away from Makkah. Also, we know information that the ancients knew what's EC and what's CS. That information gives us this angle. And this angle would be, in this case, would be 40. Because it would mean that we deduct 40 degrees. Instead of 71, instead of 70, this is 30. This is 30 degrees. This is 40 degrees less. This angle here is 40 degrees less than this one. This one is 70. And this one is 30. So, means that this angle here, KES, is 40 degrees less than KCS. The final answer, where the sun is seen, would be 71 plus 30 is 101. But, this is what I told you. 30 is not given, is unknown. That's the whole point. It's not known. We only know this angle, how much the sun is away from the Makkah. And from this information, the Rambam gives us this angle here. That means how much to deduct to find where S1 is. That's the real sun. We know where S2 is. You know S2 is KCS2, SS2 is 70. minus 40, we find where S1 is. Okay, now we can see the Rama inside. The Rama explains. V'tira kama milas hu maslul hashemesh. Maslul pochas me'eshmoina milas. If it's less than 180, tigra manas hamaslul imokam hashemesh. Then you have to deduct the manas hamaslul. The manas hamaslul is the portion of the maslul. Just hang on for the terminology. We'll explain it better later. If it's more than 180, actually up to 360, you have to add the portion of the maslul. Well, everything will be clear soon. If the maslul is exactly 180, it has no portion. Now let's start understanding what we're talking. What does this mean? There's maslul and there's manas hamaslul. So again, the maslul means this angle KCS. Manas hamaslul is the angle S1, SS2. So this angle here is dependent on this angle. Once you know that this, if it's a very small angle, that this is also tiny, just imagine, make yourself a picture, imagine that KCS is right here, so then this angle will also get smaller. I didn't draw it here, but you can draw it yourself. Take a pen and paper and make a very narrow angle KCS. And then you'll see, draw a line from E passing S and from C passing S. You'll see that this angle here would be very tiny. That's what Rambam says. In such a case where KCS is S or minus, it's tiny, then the mana, the portion, is only 20 halakim, less than a degree, a third of a degree. It keeps on growing. If it's 50 degrees, the maslul is 50 degrees. It's already 1 degree and 29 halak. Shishim milas, timnasi maila achas. Im yesh shiva milas, timnasi maila achas, echad v'chamisha halak. Im yesh moina milas, timnasi maila achas, v'shiva v'chamisha halak. Tisha milas, timnasi maila achas, v'tisha v'chamisha halak. It keeps on growing. Im yesh mea milas, timnasi maila achas, v'shmoina, then it's already decreasing. It's only 58. The highest it gets is by 90 degrees. And you get may have an Esther, so I'm not gonna, you can just read the Rambam yourself. The idea everybody understands that as that angle grows, the mana, the portion grows also. Hoya maslul. So this is from 0 to 180. So this is what I'm going to finish this year with. From 0 to 180, it means this area all along here. Manas maslul means the angle. Maslul hashemesh means this angle. This angle here is right now at 70. Manas maslul is this. So in the Rambam's case, if this is 70, then this angle here should be, the Rambam says if it's 70, Maila achas. It's 1 Maila and 51 halakim. Obviously this picture doesn't show the truth, but that's what is represented in this picture. Okay, we have to stay here because the 50 minutes is almost up. So the idea is that in this area we always add, subtract. It's always the S1 will be a little bit behind S2. Anywhere from here till here, that's what